Ever wondered what it would be like to live in the final frontier? In this mind-bending journey through the cosmos, we'll unveil the incredible world of things you can't do in space. Prepare to have your perceptions of space shattered and your curiosity ignited. Don't miss out on this gravity-defying revelation. Stick around for the cosmic ride of a lifetime. Here are a few things you can't do in space. Eating bread. Indulging in bread is a customary practice for most of us Earth dwellers, whether it's savoring sandwiches, hamburgers, or even the nutritious delight of avocado toast. However, this culinary experience undergoes a profound transformation when we venture beyond our home planet and enter the realm of space, where the influence of gravity on our food disappears entirely. Much like the challenges that zero gravity poses to sleep, eating bread becomes an almost insurmountable task in space. The issue lies in the fact that bread, along with its counterparts like crackers and cookies, tends to shed crumbs that defy gravity, floating aimlessly and posing potential hazards by drifting into astronauts' eyes or interfering with critical equipment. Hence, you'll notice that spacecraft departing from Earth's orbit opt for tortillas as a crumb-free alternative to traditional bread. The concept of crumb-free bread presents an enticing prospect for space travel if it can be effectively integrated into the journey. Crying. Humans shed tears when they experience emotions like sadness or overwhelming joy, and sometimes it's due to allergens or irritants getting into their eyes. However, astronauts face a unique challenge in space, as they lack the usual option of shedding tears. While astronauts can still laugh in space as they do on Earth, crying takes on a whole new dimension without the presence of gravity. When asked about the ability to cry in space, Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield explained that yes, their eyes produce tears, but these tears behave differently in a microgravity environment. They form into balls of liquid that tend to sting, creating a sensation similar to crying, yet the tears do not flow down the face as they would on Earth. Instead, they accumulate as a larger and larger sphere of water in the eye. In space, tears don't trickle unless physically removed by the astronaut's hand, resulting in a rather unusual and fascinating phenomenon where tears in space can amass into a sizable clump resembling a floating ball. A truly bizarre sight indeed. Coffee. For numerous individuals, kickstarting their day without a steaming cup of coffee is inconceivable. However, when it comes to astronauts in space, their mornings, admittedly devoid of the usual sunrise, require alternative solutions. This stems from the crucial role water plays in brewing coffee, a task complicated by the absence of gravity. To circumvent this challenge, a specialized espresso machine employing coffee ground capsules was devised specifically for astronauts in orbit, ensuring their access to this cherished beverage while mitigating the risks associated with handling loose coffee grounds in zero gravity. Using the restroom. Welcome to the restroom facilities of the International Space Station, where using the toilet proves to be an exceptionally challenging task. In the weightlessness of space, astronauts, in fact, must complete a comprehensive toilet training program to master the intricacies of this unique setup. There are two distinct mechanisms tailored to specific bodily functions: a specifically designed toilet seat for solid waste disposal, and a liquid waste vacuum tube, equipped with differently sized funnels for both men and women. Interestingly, many astronauts prefer to use the funnel directly for liquid waste, bypassing the need for the toilet seat altogether. After use, a sealing bag like this one is employed, which is then securely closed and placed into a solid waste container. As a courtesy to the next user, a fresh bag is always prepared. These are just a few of the remarkable adaptations necessary for life in space. And there are more intriguing aspects to discover about the unique experiences in this extraordinary environment. Stay tuned until the end to uncover the remaining facets of what you can't do in space. Alcohol. Beyond the list of activities sanctioned for space travelers, there's one particular pastime that most space-related organizations firmly discourage. An amusing historical anecdote revolves around the inclusion of alcohol in the menu for the Skylab 4 mission back in 1972. However, this decision drew significant public attention, with numerous individuals even expressing their displeasure to NASA regarding the introduction of alcohol on a spaceflight. In a letter, astronaut Edgar G. Gibson articulated that astronauts symbolize a certain purity, and the introduction of alcohol tarnishes that purity, triggering strong reactions from people. While alcoholic beverages are typically prohibited in space travel, there have been instances where space agencies permitted their consumption. Nevertheless, NASA has maintained a stricter stance on alcohol consumption compared to Russia's Roscosmos. both in terms of regulations and practical implementation. Both astronauts and cosmonauts are prohibited from being under the influence of alcohol during a launch, a clear safety measure that needs no explanation. Imagine the risks of piloting a rocket or spaceship while intoxicated. Thus, it's safe to say that alcohol is a resounding no-no when it comes to space travel. Sleep. How do you manage to get some shut-eye when you're zipping around the Earth 16 times a day like NASA astronaut Sunita Williams? Being an astronaut may seem glamorous, but it's far from easy, and after a grueling day in the weightlessness of space, a good night's sleep is much needed. Sleeping in space presents a whole new set of challenges due to the microgravity environment. Unlike on Earth, where we simply lay down to sleep, in space, lying down loses its meaning. Some folks might prefer to tether themselves, but Sunita Williams personally enjoys the sensation of floating as she dozes off. With the lights out, it's a good night, but the absence of gravitational feedback disrupts our usual sleep patterns. Astronauts must take precautions to avoid drifting aimlessly during their slumber, so they secure themselves in sleeping bags. Regulating core body temperature becomes another tricky task, as natural cooling mechanisms struggle to function without gravity. Even something as fundamental as getting a good night's rest becomes a unique challenge when you're orbiting above our planet. Shaving. Astronauts also experience hair growth on various parts of their bodies during their space missions. However, managing these pesky hairs is a somewhat challenging task for them. Regardless of gender, both male and female astronauts have to shave while in space, and they are provided with a choice between an electric razor or a disposable one. Due to the limited availability of running water on the International Space Station, ISS, most astronauts opt for electrical razors. Male astronauts often prefer keeping their hair short during their stay on the ISS to prevent any complications in the zero-gravity environment. They certainly want to avoid the inconvenience of floating hairs ending up where they shouldn't. When it comes to haircuts, astronauts use a special hair shaver equipped with a vacuum that sucks up all the trimmed hair, ensuring it doesn't float around. Veggies. Vegetables have not always been a fan favorite, although they have gained popularity recently thanks to the rise of plant-based diets. However, in the context of space, vegetables like spinach must be carefully packaged in vacuum-sealed containers. This is because astronauts connect these vegetables to a water distribution system, gradually saturating the bag until the spinach block transforms into a textured food source. You might have come across this concept in memes or space-themed entertainment, but the reality of space food being packaged this way is indeed accurate. Interestingly, astronauts find solace in gardening as it reminds them of life on Earth. They take pleasure in nurturing and hydrating these vegetables, watching them sprout and grow. The allure of fresh food is so strong that astronauts celebrated with a salad when they successfully cultivated a few lettuce heads on the International Space Station in 2021. Scientists are optimistic about the future with plans to grow beans in space using advanced planters developed at the Norwegian University of Science and Technology. This points towards the promising prospect of having fully functional and realistic space farms at our disposal in the future. Washing your hands and cleaning. Much like the challenge of brushing teeth, even a seemingly straightforward task like hand washing becomes a complex endeavor in the microgravity environment of space. On the International Space Station, ISS, astronauts forego traditional showers and instead rely on liquid soap, water, and rinseless shampoo for personal hygiene. They dispense liquid soap and water from pouches, applying them to their skin. Hair cleaning involves the use of rinseless shampoo with a small amount of water. Excess moisture is wiped away with towels. As for cleaning the ISS itself, astronauts employ liquid detergent, disposable plastic gloves, multi-purpose wiping cloths, and a vacuum cleaner. The process involves applying the detergent, wiping surfaces with the cloth, and vacuuming up the collected dust. Disposable gloves are worn while using the detergent, ensuring cleanliness and efficiency in space sanitation routines. And that's it. We're eager to hear your thoughts on these everyday activities that become quite challenging in space. So please share your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to give our video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel while turning on the notifications for future content like today's. We hope you found our video enjoyable, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.